Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbhisesa Sunyavadhi Pasyatya Desatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. This is the first page in your Bhagavad-Gita. So you can follow if you like. Page number 1. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Gurung Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatang Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadbhadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Si Bisakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanisvari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pabhanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is. Chapter 1, Observing the Armies, text 39. Page 59 on your Bhagavad-Gita. Kula-kṣaye praṇaśyanti kula-dharmāḥ sanātanāḥ dharme naṣṭe kulam kṛtsnam adharmo abhibhavati uta. Your word for word meaning kula-kṣaye, in destroying the family. praṇaśyanti, become vanquished. Kula-dharmāḥ, the family traditions. Sanātanāḥ, eternal. Dharme, religion. Naṣṭe, being destroyed. Kulam, family. Kṛtsnam, whole. Adharmo, irreligion. Abhibhavati, transforms. Uta, it is said. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Purport, or everybody please repeat. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Purport. In the system of the varṇāśrama institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. But on the death of the older members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain. Hare Krishna. So this is one of the reasons why Arjuna doesn't want to fight. The destruction of the dynasty. He's afraid of, if the family members will die, then the eternal family tradition will be vanquished. Usually the elderly, they know what to do and what not to do. That's why they're elder. The more you become old, the more you're supposed to become wiser. Not just materially, but also spiritually. For the young, we follow the elders. So that, we follow them because we look up to them as the role models. And Arjuna was thinking, well, if we're going to win this battle, but then all the elderlies are killed, then what's going to happen to the subjects of those elderly people, or to the kings, or everyone? They will not have any direction. They will not have any guide. Then the tradition will get lost, will be vanquished. That means they will not care less. No one will give them proper advice, or no one will give them the ways how to make spiritual advancement. It makes sense, right? So this is one of the reasons why Arjuna doesn't want to fight. Kula-kṣaye praṇaśyanti. The family, if they are destroyed, then dharma, kula-dharmāḥ, the family traditions, sanātanāḥ, kula-dharmāḥ, sanātanāḥ. Even though, yes, there is a kula-dharmāḥ and there is adharmo. Kula-dharmāḥ means family tradition. If someone following some kind of tradition, but it's not necessarily according to spiritual injunctions, it could be wrong. It could be wrong, which means this kula-dharmāḥ actually is not eternal. It's just, what do you mean by tradition? That means generation from generation from generation. Whatever your forefathers have been doing, or the forefathers of your forefathers has been doing since so many tens and hundreds of generations, if it is not according to the spiritual injunctions coming from the Shastra, well, we've been doing it for a long time, it should be true. But if it's not, therefore it is not really eternal, isn't it? And because here, Arjuna was thinking, well, if the elderly will be killed, then the tradition also will be finished. That means it is not eternal, the tradition. It's just been going on for many generations, and it could stop. But there is Atma-dharma though. Atma-dharma. Atma-dharma. What is that? When we say dharma, dharma means the constitutional position of certain thing that you cannot take it away from that. It's like the fire. We gave that as example many times. The fire, the dharma of the fire is what? Chaitanya? What is the constitution of the fire? Heat and light. Right? When you see a fire, it's like bright. And when you touch, you're right, you'll be burnt. Because there's heat there. So this is the natural tendency of the fire. Natural tendency of water is what? Is wet. Well, sometimes it's liquid and sometimes it is solid. But it's always wet, water. Even if it's solid, it's still wet. So now, what is the Atma-dharma? What is the natural tendency? The constitutional position of Atma, or the living entities? To serve. To serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We're all servants, and Krishna is the Supreme Master. So, yes, Arjuna was giving. Actually, Arjuna is not attached whether he will win or not. For him, it doesn't matter. If I win, and if they're all dead, so what is the use? I will not be also able to enjoy the kingdom, right? I'll be alone. Not just alone, but if the elderlies are killed, then more likely also I will be not enjoying. And I'll be the cause of the destruction of the family. No elderlies, no one will lead them. Then the family values will, or the traditions will be vanquished. It'll be finished. So I'll be responsible. He's not attached whether, even to gain, to get back the kingdom. Is he attached to get the kingdom back? No, he's not. It doesn't matter. For him, I don't care if I win. It doesn't matter. It's not my intention to win this battle. I'm just worried about others. This Vaishnava is like this, isn't it? He doesn't worry about for himself. He worries more about what's going to happen to others. It's a very, very important point that we should learn also. But not in a sentimental way, not in an emotional way. If we actually worried about others, we should also be worried about ourselves first. We should be worried about ourselves. We should think about, really? Am I really making advancement in this way? Am I able to make progress. Is it because the nature of the devotee is like, he's also introspective. He's trying to look for his own faults. For the materialist, it's easy to look for the faults of others. Right? Yeah, he is always like instead of being a honeybee, the materialists are like crows looking for the garbage, looking for the rubbish places. The materialists are like this. But for devotees also, he's looking also inside, and also he's looking also how to help others. This is a devotee, this is a Vaishnava. So Arjuna is a devotee. He's thinking, hey, this is sinful. What's going to happen? Not just killing. He's against actually the killing. What to say of killing his relatives, his grandfather, Bhishma, and his relatives? What will he gain? So they could be killed according to Artha Sastra, because as a Satriya, Prabhupada mentions here the system of varṇāśrama institution. The society in social class and spiritual class is divided into two. In a society, there's always this division. The social class and the spiritual class. Both has to, they have to be together in a sense, because the Brahmanas in the social class, there are the Brahmanas, Vaishyas, Satriyas, and Sudras. So according to Chaturvanyam Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha, according to the qualities that we acquire, and according also to the modes, to the qualities that we acquire, and the karma, the activities that we perform, our position is categorized. For the Brahmanas, it is compared to a body of a person, a human form. The intellectuals, the Brahmanas, they're the head of the society. They are the ones who knows Brahman, Supreme Brahman, Parabrahman. They're intellectuals. They know the Vedas. Actually, they are the advisors to the Satriyas. Satriyas means warriors or protectors, to protect the citizens. One time Prabhupada was asked, why don't you become the president of the United States of America? Prabhupada says, no, I want to be the advisor of the president of the United States of America. See the difference now? This is high, Mahabhagavats. Actually, the kings, the leaders, the Satriyas, they're Mahabhagavats. They're supposed to really like uphold the dharma. They're considered as Raja, Rishi, saintly personalities. They know what is the purpose of human form of life, and they actually make sure, because he's the representative of the Supreme Lord, Raja, King, Rishi, saintly personalities, not just to protect, but to maintain the citizens and to make sure that also they go back home, back to Godhead. Even the Sudras should go back home, back to Godhead also. Not just the Vaishyas. The Vaishyas are considered to be the belly. Where do we get our food from? From the Vaishyas, those who protect the cows, and also agriculture, farming. In those days, they don't use money. Just like during Krishna's time. Was there any like rupees at that time? No, they barter, exchange. If you have produce, and that's why they are considered to be very wealthy, because they have cows and they have agriculture to till the land. So whatever they need, they'll just exchange. Nowadays, not really. If you don't get organic, you'll get poison. You get so many pesticides. In those days, no. So the Vaishyas, they are the mercantile class in the society. All of them actually they should exist simultaneously. The Sudras is supposed to be the working class. And in Kali Yuga, we all know there is this verse, Kalo Sudra Sambhava. Everyone practically is a Sudra. Even the so-called Satriyas, or the one who rules the country, they're also Sudras. A little bit of Satriya spirit, but if he's really Satriya, then the principles of religion, he has to like make it as a mandate. No cow killing. Okay, it's like, when Parikshit Maharaj, he met Kali personified. He says, you cannot do whatever you wish to do here. No, I'll give you a place. You can do that, whatever you wish to do. Eating meat, gambling. And then wherever there is gold, he says, you should go wherever there is gold. Because wherever there is gold, there is envy, there is hatred, there is all the vices. Gold is like considered as liquid stool. But we use gold, we use ornaments also for the deities, but at the same time, because the Sudras, they don't know really how to use properly. They just know how to serve. If they serve the other three classes in the society, then they can also go back home, back to Godhead. One can be a Vaishnava Sudra, or Sudra, Vaishnava Sudra, or Sudra Vaishnava. It can be in the topmost level, it can be the highest. Any example we can give from the Shastra? The topmost Vaishnava, but is also, you may say, Vaishya. How about Kolavecha Sridhar? I can think right now. Kolavecha Sridhar. What does he do? He just sells banana leaves, banana cups, or banana flowers, anything about bananas. But he is the topmost Vaishnava. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will drink from his tattered or is like full of dense lota that he was telling Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, no, my dear Lord, don't drink. Don't drink from my lota. And then when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu drank the water from the lota, he was tasting like nectar. He's never tasted from anywhere before. You see? So there's the Brahmana, the intellectuals, they're supposed to know Brahman, and they are the advisors. They know Dharma. Satriyas, they're meant to protect, maintain the society, the subjects, based from the scriptures also and the advice of the Brahmanas. Then the Vaishyas, they're the ones who produce what we eat. Vegetables, fruits, grains, milk and milk products. And the Sudras, they're the working class. Now there is another part of the society, the spiritual aspect of the society, where the spiritual classes has to be there also in order for the society to make development or progress spiritually. There are the brahmacharis, the grihastas, the vanaprasthas, and the sannyas. Sannyas is supposed to be the leader of the society. They are the topmost brahmanas, supposed to be sannyas. The brahmacharis, whether you're a son of a pauper or a son of a king, this is the duty of the parents to send the child to the Gurukul. The Gurukul is the school of the spiritual master, to learn, starting from the age of 5 up till 25. They will learn many, many skills. Just like Lord Krishna also and Lord Balaram went to the school of Sandipani Muni in Ujjain, right? It's still there. And we named also in London our school, Sandipani Muni School, where even the Queen came to visit, because the students, mostly, even from not devotee family, they learn Sanskrit, they learn how to recite some mantras. So yes, brahmacharya. Brahmachari means student life. Mainly they are celibate. And brahmachari means to study the scripture, so that they will be able to grow up morally very strong, and their values in life will be so much so that their spiritual growth is guaranteed. Both materially also, they become progressive, and when they reach the age of 25, they can make a choice whether they want to go back to mama or they want to continue on with the guru, the school of the guru, and prepare for sannyas. Now, if they went back to mama and papa, then they may choose to become grihasta, householder life, family life, which means that they would prepare themselves to become more responsible. If you're a good brahmachari, you'll be a good grihasta. If you're being a brahmachari is not so strong, then more likely being a grihasta also is not so stable, not so strong. Brahmacharya in the beginning is like having a good foundation for the future. So grihasta means they work to make the both ends meet, to have facilities for the family members. Getting married is another part of the purification, the 10 samskaras. And yeah, grihastha life should be focused, their life should be focused also that Krishna is the center of their life. If not, then they are not grihastha. Spiritual practices should not be given up. Don't be a sense enjoyer. Otherwise, one will be called a grihamedi. A grihamedi is the opposite of grihastha. The wife should be chaste, should be helping the husband and making the grihastha ashram become successful, become strong. Both has to be strong spiritually. The husband should be as the father of the family. Then it is his duty to be really strong. But both should be strong. But at least one should be strong. If the husband is not strong spiritually, the wife should be strong spiritually. If both are weak spiritually, what's going to happen? Finish. They'll fall down. Their children will grow up like animals. That's the fact of life. At least one should be strong. If the husband is not strong, then the wife should be strong spiritually, and that is good. That is good. Better than the wife is strong than both of them are not strong. That is a spiritual life. Grihasta ashram. Then vanaprastha means up to a certain age. It says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 50 years old. That's the vanaprastha. Because usually in Vedic times they get married early. So by that time also the children are grown up. They will travel, the husband and wife will travel to different holy places, tirthas. They will reside an extended period of time in those places to cultivate more spiritual life, making more advancement. They will do bhajan. But there are no more sexual contact between the husband and the wife. The wife will be there just to assist the husband. And then after some time, at the age of 65 or so, which is the time also that one can take sannyas. But in Kali Yuga, one does not need to take sannyas. One can live the family, the husband and wife, and only in the last stage that one can live in a very solitary places. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he did not take sannyas, but he's a Goswami. He is the what? 7th Goswami. He had how many children? 13? 13 children. But he lived a very, very exemplary, ideal householder. He wrote many books. He's a Mahabhagavat. Of course, they are not ordinary souls like us. So, yes, one can be a grihasta sannyas. It's like we've heard, grihasta brahmachari. One can be also grihasta sannyas if they are engaged 24 hours in Krishna consciousness. So the principles of religious traditions help the members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. So varṇāśrama program is like that. But Prabhupada, he says 50% of my mission is not complete because I have not established the varṇāśrama program. Similarly, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, he wished to have established the varṇāśrama program during his lifetime. Even nowadays, we are trying, so much efforts is being done to establish varṇāśrama program. But we called it Daivi varṇāśrama because Krishna is the center. Some places they are being successful. It's like we have a project in Hungary with His Holiness Sivaram Swami. They have a community of devotees there living what? Simple living, high thinking. That is the motto of Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? Because ultimately the whole civilization will crash. It'll crash. As Prabhupada says, you cannot eat nuts and bolts. You can have all the factories and big industries, but ultimately the whole thing will collapse. Dollars will be like so down, rupees will be valueless. All the money will not have any value. If you have even, bitcoins and whatever, cryptocurrencies, but if you don't have any food to eat, what is the use of that? Can you eat your bitcoins? Huh? Can you eat your gold? No, ultimately everyone will go back to basics. We will be riding the bullock carts. And very rarely that there'll be like flights or airplane. Because the fuel also will be consumed. There'll be no petrol. As Kali Yuga progresses. Now they're inventing what? Electric vehicles, because they're trying to save the petrol. But what if there is no more electricity? Just like in that farm, in the Hungary project, they have deities there, and they don't use any electricity there. They're used to no electricity. We don't have electricity sometimes in Vrindavan, but we curse the government. Hey, like when there's a brownout, right? Can you exist without electricity? No. Yes, you can. You cannot exist without water. But without electricity, you can. But without water, you're finished. Was that Chanakya Pandit says what? Don't go to a place, don't remain in a place where there is no doctor. There is no water. Because you cannot. If you got disease, you're finished. So, yes, our society will be geared up ultimately in the way. So why are we in the cities though? Why do we have temples and centers, over 450 temples all over the world and centers? And why? To preach, to spread the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. Otherwise, we don't have any business there. We don't have any business in London, in Tokyo, in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, in Toronto, in No, why would Prabhupada would go? Prabhupada would just remain here. So, this is our mission. That ultimately, we would like to encourage them to live a very simple lifestyle, not to lose the family tradition, but more the dharma. It says here, the dharma. Not to exist in this material world and not able to know the purpose of human form of life. The bodily, we were reading that the other day, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Vishnupriya, his second wife, the only true things in this world, the only thing that will remain in this world are only two. The Vaisnavas and Lord Krishna. And everything else is false. False in a sense that we should not be attached. Because everything will come and go. But our relationship with the Supreme Lord always remains eternally. So, here, I'm going to read something here. If Arjuna would kill his grandfather Bhishma and his teacher Drona, then the woman would say that Arjuna and the other menfolk are engaged in irreligious acts, so they could also do it. And that's true, isn't it? But they don't know, because those who will not understand the actions of Arjuna being instructed by Lord Krishna, they will say that Arjuna is irreligious because of the attachment with the family members. But ultimately, how many families did we have before? Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions in so many species of life. How many children do we have now and before? Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. Was that story of King Chitraketu? Yeah? Remember that story of King Chitraketu? There he has like so many thousands of wives. How many? Only? Only 1 million.
1 crore. 1 crore.
Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? And somehow they're all praying, I wish to have a child. So one queen got a child, but the other queens became jealous. So they poisoned the boy. And then somehow or other, Narad Muni brought back the boy to life. And the boy was asking, how, I mean, this is not your first time that I have my father like you. I have so many fathers before. You had so many sons before also. In this lifetime, yes. Due to the will of the providence that we all got connected. It's like it says in the Bhagavatam also, that like family members are like a bunch of sticks that's been floating in the river, and because of the waves, the string that holds the bundle of sticks broken, and so they get separated. Then after some time, due to the waves again, sometimes they also get connected, but then the waves again, they go separated. So karma is like that. We somehow or other, we all have the same, in the family that we belong to, particular family, it is the family only that is due for us to enjoy or suffer the reactions of our previous karma. I will not have taken birth in a different family because I will not enjoy or suffer the reactions of my karma only in that particular family. So we have to make the best family members of how we can help each other to become Krishna conscious. And even just like Prahlad Maharaj, he took birth in a family of demons, the king of demons. But then his being a devotee became very, very important that he was able to carry everyone ahead and before of him 21 generations. So if you become a devotee and your family may not be a devotee, you'll be able to save them also, and after some time they will take up to the process of Krishna consciousness. This is the mystery here. We cannot control the karma of our family members, but what we can do is for us to become a good devotee. Then we'll be able to help them as well by doing so, even though they're not devotees. Someday they'll become a devotee. So Arjuna is thinking more in the bodily platform here. But there is a higher. And he was telling Krishna, why don't you kill them yourself? Why are you asking me to kill them? Even though you said they've already been killed, so okay, why don't you do it yourself? I'm not attached to the kingdom. Because he's thinking as a devotee. And that nature is not fault. It's not faulty. That nature actually is genuine for a devotee. Okay, we stop here now. Any questions? Any points? There's a mic here. Right there. Hari Ram. Huh? Turn it on? It's not on? Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead, I'll repeat it.
Maharaj, just like Arjuna, he doesn't want to fight. He sees his relatives. So similar way in the material world, we see our relatives and we do not want to give up our relatives.
Arjuna doesn't want to fight because that's natural. It is his relatives, his kinsmen. So in our condition also, we have relatives.
But we don't
We don't want?
Want to give up them.
You don't want to give them up.
The relations with them.
Yeah, you have to maintain good relationship, but they should not influence you and you be carried away by them. If they're not devotees, you give them your association. It's like sometimes I go home also, but I don't give up the principles. We should not compromise our principles. Let them know that we are like this, and whatever they do, okay, you do. I'm not going to disturb you. If you want to follow what I'm doing, then that is good. If you don't want, that is your freedom. What can I do? I'm not going to denounce them. I'm not going to give them up for what they are. Let them do. Don't disturb. If they ask questions about spiritual life, then you reply. But to like, hey, you drill them, hey, no. It's to each his own. I mean, give them whatever they wish to do, but show yourself a good example. Okay? Be friendly with them. Don't say, hey, you're eating meat. Don't talk to me. No. Still, relationship is there. You have to maintain. Prabhupada says to his disciples, you should write to your parents regularly. Regularly. So we should do that. Unless they are really inimical, they are like really demoniac. They're trying to poison your consciousness. It's like in the early days, they used to do brainwashing. You know what's brainwashing? They will kidnap the devotees. The parents will pay someone to kidnap the devotees, and they will have the devotees brainwashed. Like, Srila Prabhupada is like this, the movement is a cult. And they don't feed them anything, they feed them meat. That's very heavy. But devotees, they pretend. Some of them are very, like intelligent. They pretend. Then when they had the chance, they will escape. They will run away and come back again. But that's very heavy. Luckily, they don't have that in India. Huh?
Brahmanand had a situation like that.
What's that?
Brahmanand,
Oh yeah?
he had a situation like that.
Oh yeah?
What said that, well, okay, then you can come back to me, I am your spiritual father.
Yes. Not so easy. In the early days, now it's a little bit more acceptable. Right? Yes? You?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is, as you say that this Gurukula system is very important.
Gurukula system, yes?
From the very beginning for a child.
Yeah.
But as you also know that nowadays, like the Gurukula facility is not available in every place.
Yeah, it's not available everywhere.
Yeah, so being a child of being a devotee parent
Mm-hmm.
of a child, and like if we feel very hesitated to send them to the school also,
Yeah.
because they got spoiled in school.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the best way a parents can guide the child?
Yeah, I understand. Well, the very best is we still have Gurukul, traditional Gurukul in Mayapur. You can send them there under the direction of His Holiness Bhakti-Vidya Purna Swami. There are 2 Gurukuls there. Also, we have a Gurukul here in Ojai, Bhaktivedanta Swami International Gurukul School. And also, we recommend, especially nowadays, to have homeschooling. That is the most effective, especially when it's comes to, you don't want to send your child to a public school or private school where non-devotees are there, right? So yes, homeschooling, and the result of that is tremendous, amazingly, that we have so many children who grew up under the wings of their parents. They didn't watch any television, no nonsense, no playing games and all these things, and they graduated highest marks. Even at the young age, they became PhDs. And they're trying to spread this awareness of homeschooling, how it is very, very important, especially in this day and age. Then after that, when they finish and they, come to the professional, then they're very much protected. They're very much protected. They're very, very strong spiritually. They have their own families already, and they want to repeat the same formula that they received from their parents. It's very good. Many all over the world. I know many young boys who grew up and then they became professionals, and now they have their own families and they're Krishna conscious. Yes. I can connect you, if you like, with some devotees in America. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, now you told that boys have gurukuls.
Yeah.
So what about girls? Do they just sit on the home, or they also have something like gurukul?
Usually the girls, they have to, the tradition is that they learn how to take care of the children. They learn how to make their ashram really a place of residence. The wives or the girls, they have their own duties. But nowadays, if somehow the wife will go to work, it is also proper that the wife has to be submissive and chaste with the husband. It's not because, hey, I have a bigger salary than you, therefore I will be the boss. Right? That may happen. Or that is happening, maybe. Right? No. Even let's say, women, the wives, they have, higher salary than the husband. She should still be submissive and chaste and be loyal. You understand? Because time changes, but traditionally, the women should just be at home and take care of the children. And there's nothing wrong with that. Prabhupada says when there is one disciple, woman, and she has children, and she's doing deity worship, and she asked Prabhupada, what should be my service? What should be our duty? Shall I continue deity worship? Prabhupada says, no, your deities are your children. You take care of your children. So, yes. And that doesn't diminish the position of the women in our society. No. The Gurukul is only for the boys. But in Mayapur, they have Gurukul for the women also, for the girls. To learn the academics, the basics. We don't have that in Vrindavan. But in Mayapur, they have. They used to have also, I think they still have in Alachua, Florida, only girls, with Mother Lakshmi Moni and Akuti Mataji, wife of Dinabandhu Prabhu. Yes. Yes?
How will they get the knowledge?
Huh?
How will they get the Vedic knowledge then?
They'll get Vedic knowledge by also reading Bhagavad-Gita. That doesn't mean you don't read, right? We just need the basics. We don't have to be like expert, like scientists trying to understand what is the composition of a certain thing. No, we don't need to go. This real knowledge, Bhagavad-Gita, where we understand who we are and what is the purpose of human form of life. That is real knowledge. Others are secondary knowledge. Yeah. Okay? Yes, sir.
Sir, actually, here in this verse, actually,
What?
by telling of this elderly persons, actually, the family traditions are lost, actually.
Yes.
What here actually,
The family traditions are lost if they've been killed.
but the family traditions of this Pandavas and this Kauravas, they have already been lost because they played the gamble, actually, in presence of the senior persons, actually. Vishnu and Dronacharya and Dhritarashtra, actually. And the Draupadi was brought back
Right?
early, actually.
So?
What will this family tradition also be lost? I mean,
Yeah, they just tried to get what is right or what is due for them. They just tried to fight for that, but they get carried away. This was a trick. They got cheated.
also take this wife actually in a gamble.
Yeah, they get cheated. They have to face. It's already there, so might as well go through. This is bewilderment. It's bewilderment. Again, everything is arranged by Lord Krishna in such a way. But ultimately, they come into their senses. Arjuna says, hey, even Yudhishthira Maharaj, after the battle, he says, I commit a sin.
You mean to say this part has to be played?
Huh? Yeah, that is part. We should try to get this, if it's possible. Mukundadatta Prabhu was saying this morning, the purports. He has his own meaning or tika, Vandma Acharya of the Mahabharata. So, Bhagavad-Gita is only one chapter of the Mahabharata. What to say of the whole Mahabharata? Try to understand the meaning. Huh? It's amazing. It's very intriguing saga, Mahabharata. And we're just talking about one chapter here. We have so many things to learn. Okay, last one. Yes?
I was thinking about that and I'm not getting an answer about varṇāśrama dharma. Actually, Arjuna was right when he arguing with Krishna, saying that so many things happen.
Yeah.
He completely right, but they're saying that he's on the bodily platform, speaking from the bodily platform conception. But you see, about even now, we have no already, varṇāśrama dharma in Western countries, USA, in America, in so they are lost. In some places where Muslim countries, for example, in my country, still
Right.
I've seen. But even though we will establish varṇāśrama dharma now, varṇāśrama,
Yeah.
it will resist not so long because only 10,000 years, and the
Yeah.
Kali will fully flourish. And the first thing what Kali does, he destroys the varṇāśrama dharma. This is the first duty of Kali, destroy the varṇāśrama dharma, and then everything will be destroyed itself. It will come in prostitution, abortion, whatever, everything will go like chain.
Yeah, but there should be a class in society.
10,000 years, even I know a person who wants to establish the institution, varṇāśrama institution from America. He is going to establish, but how long it will resist?
At least, Prabhupada says there should be a Brahminical class in the society.
But you see, excuse me, but Brahmanas will, this 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, as soon as Kali will flourish, the first jivas, the first living beings which will disappear from this world will be bees. And there
Fine.
will be no fruits,
No, fine,
vegetables.
fine. But we should try. We should try. Even if there is only 1 or 2 or 3 programs or projects in the world, that is good enough. If they don't want to follow, at least, because eventually, as we mentioned, the whole system will collapse. So there should be a place where there's like a shelter, that the devotees, ultimately people will live underground. This is Kali Yuga. So don't worry, that time will still come someday. But for now, whatever we can do, we have to exist.
You think about Hungary, I was there and I saw the devotees coming here from Budapest with Shivaram Maharaj, young girls, boys, girls all married, beautiful, like demigoddesses. But you see, this is very Hungary, small country, and they have their own small farm, but no one follows. So many people coming, looking, and they're listening.
They may not follow. They may not follow.
They cannot.
No, if at least they read Bhagavad-Gita at home, someday they'll become a devotee. You don't expect everyone to follow us.
But very short time, we have 10,000 years.
Whatever you can do, if you can distribute 1 book today, that is your day is perfect. Just 1 book. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was so happy. His disciples even distribute 1 pamphlet. If you can make 1 devotee, your life is successful. Don't worry, we're not here. We're trying to change the world, but don't expect the whole world will follow. Okay? If a certain percentage follows our program, we consider our program to be a success.
I'm already disappointed. For more than 20 years I'm preaching all over in Muslim countries. And the result is very miserable, very drop in the ocean. Drop of the ocean. It
Fine.
becomes more dangerous.
Yeah. Anyway, just consider yourself to save first. Save yourself first, then you can save others. But in trying to save others, automatically you're saving yourself. Saving. So this is our process. We cannot say, oh, I'm not pure enough, what can I do? No, the more you try, then you also making progress. Okay? This is all we can do. We cannot do much. But we will try. Alright? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ke? Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Dhanyavad. Hare Krishna.